Do I attend Whitby Goth Weekend? Let's see, shall we? Welcome to By Candlelight, beaming goth, darkwave and post-punk straight into your brain. So, do I attend Whitby Goth Weekend? It's complicated, and it's connected with its history, so let's delve. First off though, as this episode is about Whitby Goth, I thought it best to do the whole goth makeup thing. I don't tend to do the goth makeup other than for, say, a special occasion. It probably shows. But, well, you know, I need to make more of an effort for you really, don't I? So for international viewers, or those of you just not familiar with Whitby Goth Weekend, it's a twice yearly festival that takes place in Whitby. No Sherlock. It was founded by Joe Hampshire in 1994, and it was originally intended as a small meetup in two pubs, the Elsinore and the Little Angel. What started as a yearly event turned to twice yearly in 1997, with events then happening in April and October. Whitby was chosen for its obvious connections to Dracula, which made the locals a little bit more sympathetic to the more alternative visitor. The weekend features stalls, bands and other micro events. It has become one of the largest goth events in the world, with many international visitors travelling specifically for the event. So, do I go to Whitby Goth? Well, I first went back in 2008 when I used to live in London, and I did actually end up going for quite a few years after this. Some of the bands that played were great, so you had Christian Death, Eden House, Wayne Hussey and Faith and the Muse. Even then though, it did feel a little bit invaded by the mainstream, and there lieth the problem. Because Whitby Goth is a free event, apart from the bands playing in the evenings, anyone would just turn up in fancy dress. This was nurtured, and still is, by photographers, not necessarily from the press, but all the same, it kind of encouraged this attention-seeking mentality. The more elaborate the costume, the more likely it would be that that person would be stopped to have their photo taken. Encouraged by posts on social media, it seemed that this was really fueling this influx of these non-goths. I've been stopped for a photo a few times, which is obviously not why I go, but most of the time I get a little comment on the lines of, "Oh look, a real goth." So many goths began to boycott the event, feeling that it was being hijacked by the mainstream. Personally, as I lived in London, there were plenty of goth areas and events, such as Camden and the club Slimelight, as well as other ad hoc events. Faced with going all the way to Yorkshire, only to then squeeze through the fancy dress crowd, it seemed like the better options were just a stone's throw away. So I just stopped going. That was until I moved away from London in 2010. This is starting to sound a little bit like David Copperfield now, isn't it? Since living in a rural area for so long, I just felt that I was really missing elements of the subculture. So decided to start going back once more. I found that I had really missed the town itself, the shops, the cafes and the gigs. It's a beautiful place to visit in itself. All I needed was a change of perspective. So here's the thing. Hundreds of non-goths might make the event busier, but they do not dilute the bits that I enjoy. So that's the bands, the stores, and the meetups in the Elsinore and the Little Angel. I quickly rediscovered, that all these areas just contained my fellow goth, with no sign of any norms. So I might need to queue for a bit longer here, or it might take longer to get somewhere over there, but generally the parts I love have remained untouched. Saying all of that, I totally understand anyone who has chosen to boycott it. I was way too young to go in its early days, so you could argue that I don't really know any different. There are still those key areas where you can go where you won't see a line of people in Michael Myers masks. Michael Myers masks. That's hard to say, isn't it? Michael Myers masks. Let me know if you've been to Whitby Goth, or if you've boycotted it. What were your reasons? Let me know in the usual place. Until next time, see you later.